Hi, I'm Monica Hassel and I'm an ADHD coach in Brisbane, Australia. I am running a high school program for students in years 10, 11 and 12. A lot of times our kids with ADHD, they're doing the very best that they can and they have lots of really positive attributes. But the thing is, having ADHD in the background can create some challenges and I can probably help you fix that. So when I'm coaching my kids, I always like to start off with the positive attributes of ADHD. So divergent thinkers, spontaneous and fun, lots of great positive attributes that are supercharged. My particular favorites, often really kind and loyal, and strong social justice feelings. And these are the things that make our kids genuinely exceptional. But ADHD can make school harder, particularly the upper end of high school. So, why is this? There can be focus in class and they're missing important information. They're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, lots of instructions coming from everywhere. They're having challenges managing time and tasks. There are lots of distractions. Planning is more challenging for some people with ADHD. They might even leave things to the last minute. Combine this with sleep difficulties, they're feeling tired and overwhelmed, and last but not least, losing track of possessions. So a few years ago, I decided to run a high school program. I had lots of individual clients coming to me for coaching for their high school kids, and I could really see the benefits of having a group approach to this. First of all, what I like to do is help our kids and their caregivers understand not just ADHD, but also the role of executive function, how it impacts their child, how do the as a group remember when things are due, how do our kids plan things and manage their time better, how can they improve their focus, study better, get motivated, stay motivated, and connect with that future self. How do they manage stress? We can incorporate some fantastic breathing techniques. How can they let someone know if they're falling behind? Communication is really key. And how can adults and their kids work together? Check ins, see how they're going, finding out what's going well. I call them wins, and also some nudges to remind them about things that are really important to them. So this is what I cover in my term by term program. We like to start off with covering skills. So connecting with strengths and values and also our kids' future self. A lot of people with ADHD have challenges connecting with their future self. So this is where we start. We've got a long journey here and it's a great journey as well, a really positive step-by-step process. So the first thing we need to do is understand ADHD, but not only that, executive functioning. Every week we check in with wins and highlights. What are the things that help us kids stay buoyant and resilient? Then we also obviously have to check in with planning, and as I said, planning can be more challenging for people with ADHD, especially managing time, capturing notes and organising notes. We work on that. We also work with that motivation, activation, and procrastination part of ADHD. Remember, ADHD isn't a matter of knowing what to do; it's not doing what you know. We want our kids to be able to plan for assessments. We use a term calendar. We want them to manage distractions. I also go through some study skills. I always try and keep myself up to date with the most current neuroscience and study skills available. Sleep. Sleep is such a key part of their kids' experience, and that can certainly come with a lot of challenges in that upper high school age group, particularly when there's a lot of distractions. They've got very busy brains, and also their bodies aren't wired for sleep the same way we'd like them to be. And then last but not least, communication with parents and teachers, friends and relationships. So I like to do this all through a process of SMART goals, but I actually have a more special and more interesting and probably more practical approach with SMART goals that I call smarter goals, which we talk about in the program. So back to, well, what is ADHD and what is this part of executive functioning? And it's really about self-regulation. So I have some videos where I help people understand what there is really deeper under that ADHD diagnosis. There are things about attention management, inhibition, working memory and planning, emotional regulation and motivation. Like I said before, ADHD isn't about knowing what to do. It's not doing what you know, and it's really about that point of performance. So this is my take on it. How do we connect knowing and doing? Well, it's about the resources. Diet, sleep, exercise, stress management impacts resources. Some kids will be on medication, some won't. That's also, possibly part of the resources. More importantly, where are the executive functions and how can we engage with those to have that future success? And one of my favorite strategies for ADHD, mindfulness. And I'm not talking meditation, but I'm really talking about how do we get our kids to bring their attention to the current moment in a meaningful way. Once we have that conversation around executive function, we need to know how to apply that in day-to-day life. And what we know with people with ADHD, their executive function age might not necessarily correlate with their chronological age. So what we need to do is find out, well, where is that difference and how can we support that best, which is a long story short. I like the work of Dr. Ross Green. He talks about kids do well if they can, and if they can't, it is about some lagging skills, particularly if there's ADHD there, and the unsolved problems that causes. And as parents or caregivers, we need to adjust or change our lens. So the stress session structure, what does it look like? Every week we start with wins. What's gone well for our student? I want to check in with roadblocks. The next thing we always check in with, well, where is the ADHD or the executive function in this? And I very specifically go through all of the executive functions every week. And then I will check in with my students and say, well, which of the executive functions do we need to put some extra supports in this week? And they really find that very helpful. There'll be a topic for discussion. I'll bring something new or interesting to the class. We have some group sharing and accountability. And one of the things I know that kids love about this program is that they're with other kids that think the same as them. Sometimes if kids have ADHD, they can feel a bit disconnected. This program is exactly the opposite of that. I want our kids to connect with each other, and they really enjoy each other's company and sharing their wins and sharing tips that they've found themselves. So the group sharing and accountability is great. I have what I call laser focus, and that is one section of every week is about when giving our kids structure in the week, where they put the world on pause and focus on doing something they need to do. It's generally about 25 to 30 minutes of that session will be time when our kids get to laser focus on something they need to do, whether it's studying for an exam, emailing teachers, finding out more about assessment pieces that are coming up, working on assignments. The choice is theirs, but I really like our kids to be able to have that time to activate. And then every week I would like, I send a follow-up sheet for the kids and parents to look at together. So what the kids are taking away, and so the parents and caregivers can have, some insight into what's happening in the program and also what's happening in their kids' lives for school. As I said before, one of the most important things we can do is engage with the executive functions and how we can support. So I always have safe group work guidelines. What's spoken about is stays in the group. It's confidential, so our kids can have that space of themselves. Um, and then going on to teamwork, I want adults and students to collaborate together. This is not time to let go of our kids. We need to actually probably give them a little bit more structure and transparency and some clarity on what they're doing. So I like the students to agree that they will show up on the Monday evenings. I run it every Monday, the Monday evenings of the term. Adults can nudge them or remind them if they need to, but it's the team's responsibility for the student to show up. I want students to share takeaways every session, like I just said. Adults to check in through the week with the wins and the challenges. So a bit more about this program. The program runs from week 1 to 10 of the term, and I have maximum of 12 students only. So 12 students across Australia. Program runs from Monday the 3rd of February. It's 1 hour of session time, and I also have added 30 minutes, what I call office hours. So if students want to stay on a bit longer, or if they've got some questions, or they'd like to work through something, I'm there for your student. There also included is pre-recorded information, and once you sign up for the program, this is yours to keep. So pre-recorded information includes a session for parent and child, and that runs through, that's quite a long video, that one, but explains everything. I want everyone to be on the same page about what is ADHD, executive function, some of the strategies that we use. So that's there for the parents and students, and this is also followed by 6, and I keep adding to them, videos which go into each of those executive function skills, but also important life skills as well. And I'm really happy for the parents to see those as well, but they're specifically for the kids. And additionally, 1 30-minute a parent and carer session and student check-in per term. Because I want to check in with each of my participants and make sure they're getting from the program what they want. And additionally, if you're new to the program, I will also post you a folder with some additional resources and templates as well. These include some mindfulness strategy cards, executive function cards, so our students can engineer the environment to create that success and that structure that they need. So if you have any questions, please contact me. I'm Monica. I can be emailed at monica@connectadhd.com or go to our website, connectadhd.com, fill in a referral form there. And my mobile is there, as you can see there, 0433 921 590. So let me know if you have any questions about the program, and I hope to see your wonderful kids in the program. If they have ADHD or executive function challenges, I'm here to help. So take care and hope to see you then.